like what he's doing is clearing off this excess rock and dirt they've been laying out over there on the far side. So then that way when they come back through to lay the asphalt, that asphalt will be nice and clean and adhere to that bottom layer will adhere to the next layer up nice and, it'll be all nice and clean and will be okay.
And we're driving south in the northbound lanes.
Correct.
So now we're going north in the southbound lanes.
Yes. Again.
One and only time.
That's right.
But I mean, that's to be expected in a site like this too.
Exactly. Try to keep things as safe as possible and, try to keep everybody out of the hair. Hey, and that's one of the other things, they have, our people have daily safety briefings every day, and everybody knows what's going on the job that day, what their job is, what to expect. Just so then that way they know, okay, hey, we've got an operation in the northbound lanes. Make sure that your crews, whatever you're doing, your delivery trucks, everybody's coming in and out of the southbound lanes. Whatever might be going on. That way, again, we're not running into any issues. Everybody knows what everybody's doing. Everybody knows what's expected of them, and to make it the safest work zones possible. And see, this is why they want us driving in on these lanes. This bridge already has the concrete barrier walls in place.
Mm-hmm.
So even though they have the rebar up to pour the sidewalls for that bridge structure, that's still not the safest structure possible for people to be utilizing. So, all right, let's move everybody to this side, on this side. That way, you don't have any chance of, if anything moves, you're not snapping that concrete again. But yeah, over here what they're doing is they're putting that sub-base material down for the asphalt part of the shoulder. As you see, they've got the dirt graded almost completely to grade. They'll have another layer of dirt that comes in on top of that, and then once they get just like what we saw back there, and then they'll once they get all the dirt and stone set, then they'll come back and put that final layer of asphalt on. This is designed to accommodate lots of traffic, high-speed traffic, and so there shouldn't be any issues. Of course, there's going to be things totally out of control, out of anyone's control, that will happen, but at this point there is no plan for installation of any cable barriers or concrete barrier wall down the medians. Of course, there'll be guardrail on the sides at areas that might be drop-offs.
That's the southbound ramp at 168 right there?
Correct. That is the southbound ramp from 168. These baskets, here, this is what they're doing.
Oh, okay.
They're pinning those in. Those baskets are used to help form, for the concrete to set up and form. The little straws sticking out that you see, that's reinforced, what they call rebar, and that's reinforced steel rebars. And again, that's what the concrete sets up around and helps gives it its thickness and strength. They had the piers and caps done, but none of the bridge beams were in or anything. So what they're doing is they have the delivery trucks come. You know how it slides off. They've got them using the new pavement. They have them coming up here, going down the northbound ramp. They'll cut across, and then they back in up the southbound. The pavement there. trucks aren't having to fight and make this tight turn on the other end here. You know, they're making this, you know, working with dirt. As you're grading it, of course, you're drying it out some and it's got movement. But to help with that, we have water trucks that go out, you know, spray some water on it. You don't have dust clouds you're driving through all the time. So you're going to keep a little bit of
When did they start putting these things in?
They started setting those beams in May. Is when they brought in the first, it was 7 beams, right? It was an odd number.
Yeah.
Because we thought it was odd that they didn't set them all the way across. But yeah, they had the first 7 beams here in late May. And so then they've set the rest of them since then.
How long is this bridge?
4,400 feet. Not quite a mile. But that's one of the things when I-69 was being developed, they knew that there was no way that they were going to be able to avoid this refuge. You know, it was here, so we had to look at what could be the easiest and best solution to this. So one of the commitments we made, because the refuge actually, when they were creating the refuge, they knew at some point I-69 could be a reality. So they built their refuge with that in mind. They had an idea of you know, I-69 is going to go on the west side of 57. So they created their refuge with that in mind. When we started developing I-69, we made the environmental commitment that we would span or build a bridge over the entire part of the refuge area. So that way we're making, when we're done, there will be less reduced refuge area. You know, this will also, it'll go back to what you see around it. If it floods, it's, you know, it's built to where, you know, you're not going to have any issues with flooding. It's up high enough over the structure. And then one of the really, really neat things about this, and another huge environmental commitment, was it's built and designed with its own unique drainage system. Typically on our bridges, and you'll see them when you're traveling up and down the highway and it's raining real hard, you'll see that the bridges have drains a lot of times on those overpasses, and you'll see the water just kind of shoot down over on the side, on those that concrete side slopes. You'll see it pouring down. Well, these bridges will actually have a self-contained drainage system where, you know, they'll have those drains built in, and they'll come off to the side like they always do. But what we'll have is there'll actually be a pipe that comes from that drain straight down, and it connects into another pipe that's running alongside of the bridge. And what it does is it collects all that runoff, and then it pipes it back out of the way and does not ever allow any of that runoff water to get into the natural habitat here of the refuge. A couple things to think about. Every year we're going to have snow and ice removal, so you've got that salt and that grit and that sand and all of that that could have potentially got down in the refuge. Well, we don't want to do that. They don't want that, so we had to come up with a way to make sure that didn't happen. And so that self-contained drainage system was really a neat thing. Guy here with the funky roller, he goes through and he
blends it all in. That's what he's doing. You know, you see a lot of rollers that are completely smooth.
He's not smooth at all.
Right. He's mixing everything together. And then we got the scrapers here that'll come back up once he's rolled it all to a certain level. Then they come through and scrape it and get it into the right.
I see all these things, all these signs saying lime truck here. I take it they do that, the lime they put in here and then they compact it. And
Yeah, it's to help dry out or get the soils to the right consistency so it's able to be compacted.
Okay. I assume they're using less lime this year than most summers.
Probably so, probably less than what they had originally anticipated, but you know, we're still in the bottoms area, so there's
The announcement of the truck bypass at Petersburg, does that increase the chances of the Petersburg North Exchange?
I haven't heard any correlations to that. I know that it's a step in the right direction. I know that, you know, it's good to see that the community is preparing for that. So when there is a need, it'll be easier to get that interchange up on our project scale. You know, because all statewide projects have to vie against one another, whether it's Indianapolis or Evansville or Fort Wayne or whatever. And so seeing, you know, that need is there, the locals have recognized the need is there, then it helps rate that higher and get it up on the project.
Okay.